got shot, man. I got shot.
Oh, God. Don't die me, you son of a bitch.
I need you to do me a favor.
What is it? Anything?
I need you
Yeah?
to suck my dick.
What? Are you serious?
It's the only way to stop the bleeding.
Oh.
It's the only way.
Okay, yeah, sure, of course.
Please. Faggot.
Jack.
Alrighty, here we are.
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on, guys? Here we are. It's us again.
Welcome back!
Podcast number 7. Here we fucking go. We're back. And look, motherfuckers, I just want to call you guys out. Look, I want a comment section. I want some people to put some stuff, put some spice in my life. Put some comments down for us on anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's an agreement, a disagreement. If you're calling me attractive, I don't care what it is. I just want some kind of comments in the comment section because, to be honest, it just makes things a little fun. And I like when people get creative with creative comments. Like, for example, when our new Instagram account, follow us on Instagram, commented on Henry Cejudo's Instagram page the other day, and he said, bend the knee to Triple C, as he always does. And we commented and said, how about we bend both knees to Triple C? Triple C replied back because that's what, cool people do. So let's get some comments going in the comment section. That's it. So
Dude, that was actually pretty fucking cool. He thought it was funny as hell.
Yeah, we made an Instagram account like 2 weeks ago, and fucking Henry Cejudo replied right back to us. But I thought it was a pretty clever comment. Yo, I tried to get Colby Covington the other day too.
Did you?
Yeah, you know how I was talking about I've been on a dry spell, like I haven't been laid in so long?
Yeah.
So they have that new Bang Energy flavor they just came out with.
Which one?
Huh?
Which one?
It's called like Guess, and it's got like a bunch of hearts and shit on it. It's pink.
Okay.
But it's like hitting the stores now, so we should be seeing it like any day. But I commented on Colby Covington's account, and he was just like, guess the flavor. And I said, I don't know, but will it get me laid at Colby Covington? Something like that. He didn't reply, of course. But yeah, I was hoping he would since he's such a big supporter of Bang since they pay all of his bills. Huh?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like, so Bang Energy is notorious for paying. So this is how they got really famous. They paid all these social media people to make them famous. Bang would not be where they are now without Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube. So there's
I see they on Instagram they always post with a bunch of girls.
Oh, always.
I always see that.
Always. Yeah, dude. Their advertisements got them to where they are now. But
Yeah.
first, the way they started, Bang was it's Red Line Energy, which no one fucking buys. So they started this new Bang to get into the energy drink market because they made these little shots, like Stacker energy shots and shit, and they made these little bottles of 10-ounce energy drinks that just taste like shit, but it's got a lot of caffeine in it.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, let's make a performance line called Bang, and we're going to compete with nobody because nobody had performance energy drinks at the time. So they started putting creatine in them, which nobody did. They had 300 milligrams of caffeine, which was way more than anybody else. And then on top of that, they started doing these weird flavors and everything. But to promote themselves, this was where it got interesting. They had a thing where you could sign up to get sponsored by Bang, and they would pay you $100 or $250 per video that you made of them. So when they first came out, every social media person out there was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna do a Bang sponsorship. I'm gonna make it $250." So they make a video and they try and get creative with it to make it it's not an out of the normal video.
Okay.
It was just like any other video. But the thing was, everybody was doing it. Everybody was making Bang videos. So it wasn't creative because they would try and put a twist on it to make it their own content. But there were so many people making these Bang Energy promotions that everyone caught on to it and was like, okay, you guys are just doing this for money. This isn't cool anymore. Everybody's sponsored by Bang Energy. Vitali, Chad Tepper. I think there was big celebrities sponsored by them. But man, there's Bang Energy everywhere. That's how I first got to know them because of all the promotions. But now they're so big that you just see them in the stores everywhere. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know on social media, I feel like they still do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because like I always see girls like dancing, or it's almost like TikTok dances, but
Yeah.
they do it for bang.
Yeah, they use the models to promote them too. So
Yeah.
like they'll go up to like Instagram models. I mean, the lower end, because like usually the higher end Instagram models for chicks, they have like millions of followers and they have no reason to do a $250 sponsorship. So they'll
Right.
find like the lower end hot chicks that do have a decent amount of sponsors. All I got to do is post a little video of them shaking their ass and boom, $250 just like that. So
Yeah. Well, not even. They just, I mean, they have like short shorts and tight clothes on, and they're just, barely even dancing, but it's enough to garner attention.
yeah,
So
put a little bit of music in the background and then that's it.
yeah. Yeah. So
Well-
as you can tell, we got new mics, so getting used to this new setup, but I think in the long run it's gonna be easier. It's gonna be a lot better.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool setup. I like it so far, except for the fact that I keep fucking banging my head on this thing. But yeah, other than that, I think it's a pretty good setup. We don't have to sit here and hold a mic the whole time. But now, what's that one meme or the one thing they say they don't know what to do with their hands now? That's
yeah,
how I feel.
I was about to say
I
like
just got empty hands. Like, what do I do?
yeah, I feel like already I've already like adjusted a dozen fucking times.
Yeah, like I just want to put them behind my back right now.
Yeah,
I really have no idea what to do with my hands.
tuck them under your balls, keep them warm.
Good. Yeah, that's normally what I do when I'm at work all day. My hands are in my pants or on my balls. Thank goodness I work at home, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I didn't work at home, I probably wouldn't have a job right now.
Jack's sitting at his fucking desk with his hand in his pants. Dude, I
No
had a
joke.
roommate in college that did that constantly. Would walk around the apartment with his hand in his fucking pants.
No, mine aren't in my pants, but they're definitely on my balls all day, or like right here. Like I don't know if this is weird, but I sit like this all the time. It's just like I'm always freezing, especially with my hands.
Well, if it's like on the outside of your shorts or your pants, like it's just for warmth, because that is one of the warmest parts of your
Yeah,
body.
but it's still like if I saw someone do, I mean, I don't know. Is it weird? You tell me.
It is. It's a little odd, but
How
I
about
mean,
people
it's
in the comments tell me if it's weird. How about
it's like
that?
if I saw you doing that in the middle of the like food line or something, then I'd be like, this guy might be like a pervert.
Yeah, but why? You know, I think about
He's
this all
probably
the
too
time.
close to a school zone.
Huh?
He's probably too close to a school zone.
Well, I think about this all the time. It's funny that you mention it. Okay, so I was thinking about this yesterday, actually.
Okay.
All right. So me, for example, I'll do shit like that and I won't think twice about it. But I think part of it is due to the fact that I have been like living by my well, I mean, I've had like people I've lived with, but
Right.
it's like I'm not married. I don't have a girlfriend. No one's like lived with me really for an extended period of time. Like, so when I do this stuff, it's just like, it's normal to me.
Yeah.
And then when half the shit that I do, most of the people see it and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing? This is like normal. Everybody does this. And it is. But I feel like everyone doesn't do a lot of stuff in public just because they're in public. Like, okay, let me take this for example. All right, you're married, right? Mm-hmm. So the way that you act around Courtney because you're married, that's you. That's like how you act.
Yeah.
But then when you go out in public, you probably don't act that same way, right? Like you probably switch up the way you act and some of the things you do. Like, for example, I got my hands on my balls all day. You know?
Yeah. I would say I act a little different in public.
So
For
for me though, like nothing changes. Like it's still me by myself, you know? Like I'm still by myself in public. I'm not with anybody else. So I don't feel out of my place. It's still just me hanging out by myself. So
I
then
gotcha.
when I like go in public, it's not like I don't feel the need to change into anybody else because I'm just the same person I've always been. I'm just going out in public. I'm going to Target, doing my shopping, but I don't give a fuck about anybody else. I'm not even paying attention to them. It's just me by myself doing my shopping alone, you know? But I feel like a lot of people, they have that added pressure of like, oh, I gotta, you know, live up to these expectations in public and I gotta do things a certain way because I'm with this person, not just for yourself. You're like, I gotta do it because I'm with them. You know, me, I'm just by myself. So I feel like a lot of the things that I do in public, it's like everybody does it, but it's like they just don't do it in public. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, I think what you're saying is like there are things you do in private that obviously you wouldn't do in public. Is that what
Obviously,
you're I
I don't put my hands on my balls, but
Oh, yeah, like stuff like that.
yeah.
But I mean, simple stuff like scratching your ass. Like you're probably not going to do that in public, or if you do, you're going to like look both ways.
I would say it's more the way I talk and interact with people that people are like, oh, whoa. They're
Like what, you
caught
watch
off
your
guard.
language more?
Huh?
Or like you watch your language more?
No. It's like I'm less censored, I guess. Like I'll just talk about anything and everything that I always talk about, just because it's just
To like a stranger in public?
not to necessarily a stranger, but it's just like the kind of jokes I make and everything. I feel like people is just like they're not used to it. It's just like the way that I talk in general. People just aren't used to it. They're used to people talking a certain way.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
To me. It's fucking weird, but.
Yeah, I think I know what
Anyways.
you're saying. Like I definitely don't have like my personality when like I have random like short conversations with strangers in public.
Yeah,
I just
don't
like
talk to anybody in public.
Say
but
like typical conversational shit just to move along kind of thing.
I should have had a better way to go with this. Like, I'm sure there's a much better example I could use. I don't have any examples I can think of right offhand, though. For example, though, this is one thing I really fucking hate. I fucking hate going into the line at the gas station, and the cashier goes, when you go up to the cashier, she says, "Hey, how are you doing today?" Like, why are you talking like that? Stop. Say, "Hey, what's up?" Don't say, "Hello, sir, how are you doing today?" Like, nobody talks like that. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to look at them when they talk to me like that. It makes me so uncomfortable. It really does. It's
Dude,
so unnatural.
I don't know why that reminded me of this, but do you remember a few weeks ago when you were talking about how you went to Chick-fil-A and you were like,
Oh, they talk like robots?
yeah, they talk like off
Yeah.
a script.
Uh-huh.
I had that experience a week or so ago when I ordered some food from Vinny's.
Yep.
I was like, "Hey, I'd like to place an order for pickup." And she's like, "All right, what you want?" And I said, "Can I get 2 dozen wings?" And she's like, "Okay, do you want an 8 count or a 12 count?" It's like, I fucking said 2
Yeah.
dozen.
Dude, you don't know how dumb people
And I'm sure that
are.
was just like, she's just used to saying that. Like,
You gotta
that's
hear
her
the shit
automatic response.
that I have to say at work to people.
Right, yeah.
Like, dude, oh my gosh, we'll get more into it in a bit, but fuck, dude. People are fucking retarded, dude.
Oh, we
I
can
hate
talk about it now.
I fucking hate it. They want everything to be scripted. It's weird. Dude, I feel so fucking weird not having my hands free though.
I know.
It's weird. I just want to constantly drink now.
Yeah, same.
Maybe we should. Maybe
I'm
we
already
should
going to need
toast.
another refill.
Maybe we should do a toast to the last podcast because it was such a fucking banger.
Yeah, true that.
But hey, once again, we are on Spotify now. We got everything uploaded there now, so it's all set, all good to go if you want to check us out there. Spotify, iTunes, BonerFidePodcasts, same thing. Check us out on there if you got that, if that's easier for you. But yeah, so make sure to check us out there. But I also wanted to mention another thing. So back to the audience. Like I said, I would love to get people in the comment section and everything, but if we don't get anything lit up soon, we're gonna fucking start targeting like a certain audience. I don't know if it's gonna be like black people,
Oh,
or if it's
God.
gonna be. I just did that because I knew David was gonna react like that. I don't know if it's gonna be like a frat boy audience or something. So I don't know what it is, but we're gonna start targeting something, and I already have an idea of what we're gonna do. So I was thinking, maybe we could finish every single, like, let's say for example, we have a sentence we're saying and it ends in the word bro, or no, oh, I'm sorry, I just fucking ruined the joke. I'm just kidding. So it ends in O. So like you're saying a word like, for example, my mom used to tell me when I was a kid, don't eat the play bro, but I do it anyways. Or, for example, guy comes to your house, he's like a window guy, right? So you ask him, "Hey man, can you fix my fridge?" And he says, "Sorry man, all I do is win, bro."
You're so
Or-
fucking dumb.
When you ask the preacher, you say, "Hey man, my wife's birthday's coming up. What should I get her?" And he said, "Man, you can't go wrong with the dill, bro." So yeah, I was thinking maybe we could target an audience like that. Just start ending every word we use that ends with O with bro instead. So yeah, if we don't get anything going soon, then we're gonna start doing that. So just giving you guys fair warning. I need some comments. I need them. But anyways,
Yeah, please don't like Jack do that shit.
yeah, it's gonna get real fucking annoying real fast. But yeah, one thing I would like to bring up though. Obviously, we're avid UFC fans over here.
Yes.
And last night, what a fucking phenomenal performance by Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal, dude. It was the best UFC performance I've ever seen. If you guys don't watch UFC, then and you're like trying to understand why people like it, watch that fight and you'll understand why people like it. It was like the best performance I've ever seen. This guy was throwing strikes left and right. It was like there was no quitting him. I don't know how many strikes he threw, but he landed the most there's ever been landed in UFC history. And I guarantee he threw more than has ever been thrown in UFC history as well. He was throwing, oh my gosh, man, body, head, kick, low, high, body. It was a never-ending output. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up his stats real quick because they really were incredible.
Yeah, I really want to know what his how many strikes he threw was, but his amount landed it was 470 or 80 strikes, something like that. Significant strikes. That doesn't even count his little ones that landed. So total, I guarantee he probably landed over 600 total strikes. Significant strikes, which is like one that connects, like it's not like it barely touched him. Yeah, it was 470 something strikes. Is one of the most phenomenal things I've ever seen. But the guy he was going up against, oh my gosh, this guy only got knocked down like twice, 3 times. How many times did he get knocked down?
Cater.
Yeah,
I can only think of one knockdown, to be honest.
I think it was twice. I think
He got stunned like nonstop in the last couple rounds.
I don't know if it counted as a knockdown. I saw him go down 2 times because it was like in the middle of the first or second round. I was like, man, has he even got knocked down yet? Because you thought for sure the fight was like going to be over, and the ref didn't end it. But
Yeah.
he was still standing. Like he was still standing and fighting back, so that he had no reason to end the fight. Like if he just stood there and took the punches, then the ref should have called the fight. But
He was at least trying to throw back.
yeah, he was taking just amount, and then he would just enough punches, and then he would throw one back in just the nick of time for them not to call the fight. But he only got knocked down, I think, twice. And when he got knocked down, he got right back up. It wasn't like he got knocked down and then Max jumped on him and started trying to finish him. It was like he got knocked down and he got right back up. But when he got back up, you could tell like his legs were wobbling, his whole body was wobbling. But fuck, man, Calvin Kattar's a fighter, dude. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. I don't care if you've never watched UFC before and you're just a boxing fan, go watch that fight. You're going to be amazed. That guy was like Cormier said, he was in his zone last night. He couldn't be touched. He couldn't be stopped. Everything he threw was landing. It was the best performance I've ever seen. Best performance since I've seen Gilbert Burns beat Woodley.
Yeah.
Best performance since then for sure.
Yeah, but props to Calvin Kattar too, because he wasn't giving up and he was throwing strikes too. He threw over 100 and landed over 130 strikes.
Yeah, Calvin Kattar's not a chump. He's a good fighter, really good fighter, and he's got great boxing skills. The fact that Max went out there and beat him in his own game, it's crazy.
Yeah, these were two very technically sound and skilled strikers.
Yeah. Max was using his whole arsenal. I said before the fight, I wasn't sure if Max was going to win or Calvin was going to win because Calvin Kattar's striking so crisp and clean. But I said
he's got power too.
He does. He has a lot of power. I said if Max uses his whole arsenal, I think he's going to win the fight. He definitely used his whole arsenal. I saw him throw a cartwheel kick at the end of the first round.
He tried.
Yeah, and when he did that, I was like, yeah, he's winning this fight. Like as soon as he threw that, I knew Max was on his game.
Yeah.
But damn, dude, he had 2 title fights in a row right before this.
Yeah.
For the belt.
Yeah,
and a lot of people think he won both of them.
The last one was, very iffy. It was a split decision.
Yep.
Most people think he actually won, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
Everybody, it's not most people. Everybody thinks he won that fight. It's not like it was like 60-40. It's like 99% of people say that he won that fight.
Yeah, it's at least like 90% of people that watched it.
At least.
I mean, I'm sure if you go back and like really score it round by round, it's probably closer to that, like 60-40.
To what people say.
But watching it live, like you thought Holloway was controlling the whole fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so listen to these stats. So apparently there was no knockdowns by either guy.
Dude.
I thought there was at least one. Holloway threw 746 total strikes, landed 447.
Oh my gosh. Okay, just to put that into perspective, 700 and what?
He threw 746.
if I were to stand in front of a heavy bag, I don't even think I could throw 746 strikes on a heavy bag. I really don't. And
Yeah, your arms would be dead.
he was doing it in a fight where another guy was throwing back at him and he had to move back and forward. I don't
Yeah.
think I could stand in front of a bag and hit it 746 times in 25 minutes.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that
dude.
includes legs too, but still.
How many seconds is that?
What do you mean, how many seconds?
How many seconds is in 25 minutes? 60 times
You're not gonna do this
25.
math.
You're what?
It's like 1,500.
It's like 1500. Okay,
think
so
so.
that means
So 60 seconds, 5 minutes. That's 300 seconds a round. 5 rounds, yeah, 1,500.
whoa.
Yeah.
So he was throwing a strike every other second. That
yeah.
means, yeah.
I mean, if you go back and watch the fight, especially in rounds 4 and 5,
Oh my
he would just
gosh.
have Cater up against the cage and just nonstop, boom, 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 just
Dude.
body, head, head.
Think about that.
You're
Could
just
you stand in front
nonstop.
of a heavy bag for 25 minutes straight and do this? For 25 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, he did not give Calvin a break. And Calvin, he threw 284 strikes, landed 134. And those aren't bad stats either.
No.
Not at all.
No. Max, man. His movement, you kept thinking to yourself, if he gets hit by one of these strikes, it's going to be bad. But he didn't. He didn't get hit once.
Yeah.
Like, his dodging and evasiveness was just off the charts last night.
Yeah. And what's even crazier is Max Holloway hasn't had any live sparring
Yep.
in his past few fights. His
Yep.
past 2 or 3?
Past two.
Past 2 fights?
Yep. Ever since Corona, he quit sparring because of coronavirus. But
Yeah. So he would just, train on a bag and that's it? Or have video sessions with his coaches?
yeah, he said his second fight with Volkanovski, it was all this is laughable. He had a championship fight against Volkanovski, and he said he did it in Zoom.
Yeah.
It was just Zoom sessions. That means he's not practicing moving in and out of range with someone in front of him. He's not practicing dodging the punches. He's not getting like anything thrown his way. And he just goes into the ring for 25 minutes, fights this guy for the title, one of the best fighters in the world.
Yep.
And he won the fight in everyone's eyes. It's just ridiculous. It's not realistic. That's like, I don't even know how that's even like, how we're even talking about it right now.
Yeah.
It's so unbelievable to me that he was able to do that. Like, it's zero practice. That's like, oh my gosh, dude. That's like fucking playing UFC 4. That's like me playing UFC 4 for a week straight or a couple weeks straight and then going to fight someone in real life and just whipping their ass because of it because I fucking played UFC 4. That's how ridiculous it sounds.
Yeah, that's
It's
comparable.
just stupid. That's not how it's supposed to work. Because Volkanovski was there getting his ass beat every day by his training partners trying to get
yeah.
ready for the fight. He's training getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Max Holloway, nope. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to go on Zoom and I'm just going to have some fun with my coaches. I just don't get it, man. I don't know how it's realistic.
Yeah. Yeah, he's crazy. And even this last fight against Qatar, is it Cater or Qatar? It's Cater, isn't
fuck
it?
it. We'll
I
just
think
call
it's
him-
Cater. I think Qatar is the country. So Cater. What was I going to say? Oh, the commentators even said, like, after he got punched like twice early in the first round, they're like, oh, well, that could be a sign of, not having live sparring is he's not used to taking shots. And he took shots the whole fight, even like late in the 5th round. Cater, sorry, my headset's falling off. Cater was, still throwing at him, and he was looking at the commentators talking shit like, I'm the best boxer in the UFC, and still getting punched in the face, and it's not even phasing him.
Yeah.
And then he would just turn around and throw it right back and stun Cater immediately again.
Yep. It is some of the most ridiculous stuff you'll ever see. Yeah, if you
Absolutely.
watch that video again, man, damn. I'm telling you, that's a fight to go rewatch if you're looking to watch like your first UFC match. That's the one to go rewatch.
Absolutely.
Fans were back in attendance. The arena was phenomenal, and I think that had a lot to do with the energy there last night.
Yeah. Yeah, having fans back was huge.
But damn, I'm gonna rewatch that fight again. It was that good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If you weren't a fan of Max Holloway before that fight, you definitely should be now. That dude is what you want to see in the UFC. Someone who can strike that much, that accurate, and still take damage. and dominate as well as he did against a very good fighter.
He was like finishing his combos with knees in the beginning, wasn't he?
Yeah, knees.
Like it was nasty.
And then I think by the second round, he started throwing in those spinning back kicks to the body.
Yeah, spinning back kicks.
Yeah, that was sick.
That first one that landed that hit him up against the cage really hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Like Qatar's hands dropped.
It launched him a few feet.
Dude, those body shots, like you can get hit in the head a lot, and until it's like the perfect one, you're not getting dropped. Like it's gonna suck. But if you get hit in the body, it's like you're dropping. Like as many shots as he landed, I don't know how he was still standing. Dude, he started throwing those knees, and I was like, oh, this is bad. He starts throwing to the body, like hook, over and over, and he just kept landing them. And Qatar still didn't drop. And then he started throwing elbows. And once that elbow landed.
Oh, yeah. He cut him bad on
he was
right
bleeding
on top
all
of his
over.
head.
Huh?
He cut him bad, right on top of his head.
Yeah, he was
elbow.
bleeding bad. And, dude, when that fucking elbow landed, ooh, man, I thought he was getting dropped for sure. And then he started going straight back to the body. I don't know how he withstood all that, man, but Calvin Qatar, man. Whew,
they talk about, like,
guy.
how shots to the body, especially if you catch the liver, it just cuts off that fight response.
Yep.
I really thought, like, he was getting hit in the body enough to where he was just going to fall over and that was it. But he never did. He just covered up, would block as much as he can, and threw back when he was ready.
Yeah, I saw Dana after the fight. Like, I was watching like the post-fight stuff, and Dana was saying they sent him to the hospital. Like
immediately.
yeah. They were like, we're gonna make him go to the hospital, just because
Damn.
like he took such a beating.
Yeah.
So they said immediately they sent him back over there. So,
Oof.
but damn, it wasn't like it was a medical emergency. They just did it there for precautionary measurement. But yeah, dude, back to that sparring thing though. Michael Bisping hit it right on the head, though. I think that's who said it. Once you take those first few shots, it just you come to realization like, oh, okay, I'm gonna fight. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't as bad as I was expecting. That's how it is. That's really how it is.
Get your adrenaline going.
Yeah, it gets the adrenaline going. You kind of settle in. You take the shot. You're like, okay, that's all it is. Okay, yeah, I can take this because it's like the thought of getting punched is worse than the actual punch itself. You actually get punched, and then you think to yourself, oh, I can take that. That wasn't that bad.
Right.
So then you take a couple more, and you're like, okay, yeah. And then, I mean, obviously, it gets worse and worse, but yeah, that's just how it is. It's just the anxiety and everything takes over. So that's why those guys that really succeed in the first rounds of fights, like they're good finishers. It never goes well once it goes past that first round.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just because their stamina sucks.
Okay.
It's probably just because they're putting a lot of energy into those first round punches, and the anxiety factor. First of all, they have the most strength in those first punches, and they're probably putting a lot into it. But secondly, the opponent is not wanting to get hit right off the bat. They're more willing to accept defeat in their head in the first 30 seconds of a fight rather than in the second round or the third round of a fight. Because you'll see the same punch get landed in the third round of a fight that was in the first round of a fight, but in the first round it's going to end it. In the third round, they just keep going. And a lot of it has to do with just getting settled into the fight.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, and I think that's especially relevant to heavyweights like Francis Ngannou.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like how
heavyweights.
he obviously has a shit ton of power. And if he catches someone early, which he has, I think, 4 fights in a row now?
Oh, something like that.
Within the first minute or two.
It's not even on 2 minutes of fighting in his last 4 fights.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
But yeah, I think you're right. Like, if Ngannou goes into like the second round against Miocic, which I think is supposed to happen in a couple months. It's not official yet.
I think it's supposed to happen in March or something.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be the main fight that Volkanovski's next fight is on as well. I think it's supposed to be a 2 title fight.
Oh hell yeah,
event.
dude! They are starting off strong, man.
Yeah,
especially that Izzy card. Who's on that fight card? It's like Israel Adesanya versus John Blankowitz, Jan Blankowitz, whatever you want to say. And then Shevchenko's on that fight card against Megan Anderson. Is that right?
No, it's Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson. That's right. That's right. Yep. And then there's a couple other fights I think on that card too. At least one other big fight.
is Peter Yan and
Is that yep?
Aljamain
Peter
Sterling
Gunn,
on that?
Aljamain Sterling.
It
You're
is?
right.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
So
Yep,
a 3
couldn't think of
fucking
it.
title card.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. It's got to be the first time that's ever happened.
Oh.
That's wild.
But
That
dude,
is wild.
back to what you were saying about how when you take a punch and it's like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought, then your adrenaline sets in.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that is not the case for leg kicks, at least in my mind.
Yeah, no, leg kick, you just don't want to get kicked there again.
Yeah.
It's like you get kicked and you're like, please don't kick me again.
Yeah. So a few podcasts ago, Jack and I, we took some videos of us just like sparring and fucking around for one of our intros.
Not really sparring.
Well, just, what would you call it? Just training? You were punching my hands. What would you call that?
Pad work.
Pad work?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, simple shit like that. And then I noticed he had his shin guards and I was like, oh, why don't you put those on and kick my leg? I want to know what it was like, because at least in my mind, watching UFC fights and someone get kicked in the leg, obviously it looks like it hurts, but I didn't think it really like was that effective. So Jack's like, all right, I'm just going to tap you. I was like, all right. So he tapped me and I felt it, but it wasn't bad at all. I was like, okay, yep, it's there. And he's like, all right, here's 10%. Whoa! And he fucking crushed my leg.
Wasn't that bad.
It felt that bad. Like watching the video of it, it really, like you could tell he barely hit me, but it is like an immediate Charlie horse. And after 10 seconds, you don't feel it at all. But in those 10 seconds, you're like, holy shit. So I can see how guys getting hit at like 50, 60% power early on in a fight, that really fucking hurts.
Yeah. Dude, that was, just to like clarify, I put hip into it. That was it. I just put some hip into it. So the first one, I didn't put any hip into it. I just tapped his leg. Second one, I turned my hip over. I went boom, and I put some hip into it, but I was like zero power. Just did proper form with no power. So I'd say it was like 10% or less.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I've let you hit me harder since then, but that first initial one of like, you know, never really getting hit in the leg that hard before or like that, it was just, and I think the biggest thing was I didn't expect it to actually hurt either, of why it was like, ow, that fucking hurt. What the hell?
Yeah, you really got to condition yourselves for that.
Yeah.
I took some leg kicks the other day. It was like last week, and it was pretty rough because like, oh man, I took like 70 of them, I swear, to like the same spot. And then my coach came up and he like kicked me actually a little bit harder, and he's like way bigger than me. He's like twice my size, and dang, it's still bruised today, and it's been 5 days now. It's been 5 days, but I couldn't do leg workouts for like 2 or 3 days after it. It was that bad. It sucked.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful. I couldn't imagine taking a UFC kick multiple times in a fight. There's a reason they leave in wheelchairs. Like, you just have to. You can't walk.
Well, now I understand like why some fighters, when they take leg kicks repeatedly, they just fall over and they're like, I'm done.
Yeah. Who's that one fighter? They said they won the fight and they landed a lot of leg kicks. And then a lot of people were like, he didn't really win the fight. And then they asked the fighter and he was like, ask him how his leg's feeling today.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's got a good point. I bet that guy can't walk today.
Right.
Because he was walking. I can't remember who it was, but it was a couple fights ago.
Whew. Yeah. Not fucking fun at all.
It's like a lighter weight. I can't remember what it was, but fuck, man. Yeah, I'm excited for UFC. It's finally back. Oh, by the way, we might do a live stream this Wednesday. Actually, no, you're probably gonna have to work. I might do a live stream if David joins in. Sweet. I might live stream the fights. Not live stream them, but do like a live, like for anyone that like can't watch them, doesn't have access to them. I'll just have the stream on and I'll be like analyzing it, commentating on it, and everything. I might do that Wednesday. So if anyone's interested in that, let me know.
Is it during the
It up,
day?
see how it goes.
Is it during the day again?
Yeah, it's like 3
fuck.
o'clock.
If
It's like 12 or 3 o'clock, something like that.
it's at 3, I could probably do it if I log into work early enough, but if it's at 12, I definitely can't.
We'll figure it out. We could do the main card too. It could, if the prelims start at like 3 and the main card's at like 5, we could totally do that, you know?
Are there any like interesting fights besides the main one?
Oh, Wednesday? Let me see. I'll look it
Yeah.
up.
Like I know it's Michael Chiesa and Neil Magny.
Yeah,
the
that's a
main
good
fight.
one. That's gonna be a good one. UFC Fight Night, Chiesa, Magny. Let's see what's on the card.
Oh, is it Chiesa?
Michael Chiesa.
I've
Yeah.
been saying it wrong forever.
What have you been saying?
I say Chiesa.
Let's see what's on it. Oh my gosh, dude. They don't even show it. Oh, hold up. I'll go to the UFC website. Oh, yep, 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, I can't do it.
That's
No
probably
fucking
the
way.
prelims, though.
Huh?
That's probably the prelims. Oh, my bad. Yep, that's the main card.
At 12?
12 Eastern time, yep.
What the fuck? Why?
Oh, dude, my favorite fighter's on there. Roxanne Modafferi.
Oh, that chick?
Yeah, the chick with the glasses.
Yeah.
The one that always sends you pictures of. She's on it. So she's on the fight card. Chiesa Magny. Yeah, it's not a lot of big names on it. But you never know. You can't judge a book by its cover, especially in UFC.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Oh,
those
dude,
types of
Ricky
cards.
Simon's on it.
Who?
Ricky Simon. He was supposed to fight
right.
Brian Kelleher.
Yeah.
And he couldn't fight because of COVID.
Yeah.
But now it looks like it's a guy making his debut against Ricky Simon. Ricky Simon's a good fighter. He's going up against Gaetano Perello. So I hope I said that right.
Yeah, this could be one of those cards where no one's expecting much, and then it ends up being great.
Yeah,
Like, it ends
that's
up
always
having a
how
lot
it
of
works.
good fights.
Look, this fight card is so little that they have 2 people making their debuts against him. It looks like none of them have pictures. There's 4
Nice.
people in the prelims without a picture, maybe
Wow.
5 people without a picture.
Jesus.
And then the first fight is Omari Akhmedov versus Tom Breeze, who are 2 veterans that are both pretty solid. So I don't know why they're the opening fight, but whatever. All right, in another UFC news, David's got another beer, so we're in good shape now. We're all refueled, but just talking about future stuff that's going to happen in the UFC. So a lot of things going on right now. We had Khabib finally talk with Dana White the other day. That was huge. Something to look forward to finally. The return of Khabib, I think it's going to happen. I really do. I don't think he would say that someone's got to, impress him for him to come back. The thought's there. He's thinking about coming back already, and I think it's going to happen. I don't think he would say that unless it was actually going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I think if Khabib really was 100% done, he would just tell Dana to his face, I said I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. And I just think there's still a strong chance he doesn't come back, only because other than like a fuck ton of money, I don't see him wanting to fight anyone again that he's already beaten. So I think that
Why not,
includes.
though?
Huh?
Why not, though? Conor is getting under his skin right now. Conor is his arch rival.
Yeah.
Conor is the guy that's gonna bait him into coming back. Conor's so good with his words.
I
Everything he's
don't
saying.
know. I don't think Khabib will see it as he has anything else to prove against McGregor. And I
Yeah,
mean,
but-
that's obviously the fight that everybody wants, that the UFC wants, that I think literally even McGregor wants. But I don't think Khabib wants it.
He's taking to heart what Conor's saying. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Everything Conor's saying, he's taking to heart. He said the other day, Khabib's not a real fighter because a real fighter would go in there and prove to the world that he's the best fighter, especially with all these phenomenal fighters out there still left for him to fight. He's got the Oliveras, the Fergusons. He said that, and that's getting under Khabib's skin 100%, especially coming from Conor McGregor's mouth. Because
Yeah.
Conor is doing something Khabib won't do. Conor's going out there and fighting Dustin Poirier for a second time, which Khabib has consistently said, I've already beat him. I'm not fighting him again. Well, guess what? Conor's going out and fighting a guy for a second time. And you know why? It's because he wants to get the title. And Khabib
Yeah.
doesn't want him to get the title. And Khabib and Conor is saying, I'm a true fighter right now. I'm willing to go out there and beat Dustin again. I'm willing to put it all on the line. I want to fight Khabib, and I'll work to get there. And most people think, oh, Conor's just got everything handed to him. Well, guess what? He's going to fight Dustin Poirier now.
Yeah.
Justin's already got his chance. Dustin had a chance. Now
Conor
it's
had the
Conor's
chance
turn
too.
again. He's earned it. 100% he's earned it. Yeah, maybe he hadn't fought in 155 in a while, but tell me that he doesn't deserve that title. He sells more pay-per-views than anybody. He's a phenomenal fighter. He wasn't
yeah,
supposed
he's
to fight
been-
Nate Diaz in the first place when he fought him.
He's been the biggest thing for UFC, I think, ever.
Ever.
I don't think you could argue that at all.
So he absolutely deserves that. If you're telling me that selling pay-per-views isn't a part of getting a title fight, you've lost your mind. That's the only reason Oliveira hasn't gotten one yet.
Yeah.
That's the only reason Tony Ferguson hasn't gotten a title yet. Tony Ferguson is as popular as ever now, though. It's unfortunate that he's lost, but Tony Ferguson definitely, in my eyes, has deserved a title fight up to this point.
Yeah. So basically how Dana worded like how his conversation went with Khabib, that Khabib wants to see how the fights play out this weekend, which includes both Porier and McGregor and Dan Hooker and Michael Chandler. And he stated other guys have impressed him, such as Charles Oliveira. It makes it sound like he wants someone, like he's waiting for someone to wow him, like somebody new for him to fight. Like
What
that's
does that
kind
mean,
of,
though?
huh?
What does that mean? Why does he want them to wow him? What does that mean?
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of cryptic, and I feel like Dana White did that on purpose. What I was going to say is, I think the fact that Dana White didn't just straight up strip the title from Khabib and say Poirier McGregor's for the title and try to get Khabib to come back because of that, that tells me that him and Khabib have agreed to something already, like behind the scenes, and we just don't know.
So they're
yet.
up to something, you think?
I think so.
would
I think
agree
the
with
winner
that.
of the fight this weekend fights Khabib.
I would agree with that. So you think Khabib's coming back then?
Yeah. I think, and I mean, it's genius on the part of Dana White, but I think this is all a game. Like his whole thing on, like his meeting with Khabib, the big announcement at 3:00 that fucking Khabib literally just said maybe. It's all a game.
That was such a fucking blue ball moment.
Yeah.
They
That was
said
a blue
3
ball
o'clock.
moment, and then you think you're just about to come, and it just gets worse.
Yep. 3 o'clock on ABC, guys. You don't want to miss it. We got big Khabib news coming. Then you could tell from his body language the second he got on camera.
You
that
weren't
there
going to
was-
find out fuck.
Yeah, there was like nothing spectacular about to come out of his mouth.
Well, and he said he was going to announce it at 3:00, and then at
And it was
4
an
o'clock,
hour later.
his bald ass finally rolls out to tell us he said maybe.
You could tell from his body language, though. He was just like not looking at the camera. He wasn't looking at the guy talking to him. He was looking down. And you were like, yeah, this is going to be some bullshit. But at the end of the day, it's not really bullshit because I think everyone should have an idea that Khabib's coming back and he's going to fight someone. And I really
Yeah.
think it's going to be McGregor. I really do.
And the pessimist side of me wants to say, like, his meeting with Khabib didn't go well, and Khabib straight up said no, but Dana White's trying to build up hype,
That's possible.
hoping that Khabib changes his mind later on.
That's
Because,
possible.
I mean, if McGregor beats Poirier, it's gonna just build that hype,
Yeah.
like, way up.
But the part of me that doesn't believe that Dana just blatantly lied, he wouldn't do that to Khabib. I know he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Khabib, that would be so disrespectful to Khabib, and Khabib wouldn't stand for that.
Yeah, that's true. I think Khabib would call him out on his shit immediately. That's why I said, like, the pessimistic side of me.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to look at, like what the worst
Yeah.
case scenario
Yeah.
could be with this situation.
I don't think that. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't know. I don't think that's the case though, because he also said Khabib said, "I'm not going to hold the division up. I'm not going to keep the belt." So
But he's letting him hold on to it right now.
yeah, so that there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
So
That's why I think there's already, like, some level of agreement in place.
I'm sure what happened, they probably had a little talk. Khabib probably said, "Hey, what's your plans with the lightweight division? Tell me what your plans are, and I'll tell you what I want to do moving forward." Khabib gave praise to Oliveira, which maybe means he wants to fight him. He wants to fight a grappler and show that he can out grapple another grappler. Maybe that's what he wants to do. Because a lot of people give him hate because
I mean, that would be a sick matchup.
it would be. It would be a good matchup.
I think Oliveira would have to beat one more person before facing Khabib, but I think Khabib Oliveira would be really cool to see.
I think so too. And I think that might be exactly where it's headed. I think maybe Khabib said he wants to see how things play out, meaning that this weekend it doesn't really matter because Oliveira, I think what's going to happen, whoever wins McGregor versus Poirier will fight Oliveira, and then whoever wins that match is going to get a title fight. I think that's how it's going to play out, and that's why he had high praise for Oliveira.
Yeah.
I think Khabib, maybe he wants to fight Oliveira just to show that he can out-grapple anybody. He can beat the strikers, and he can out-grapple with the grapplers, meaning that he's the best of all time.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to fight GSP. GSP was a phenomenal grappler. He was great on the feet, too. He was just great, well-rounded martial artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's all you could ask for, a guy like GSP to be a martial artist.
Absolutely.
And Oliveira is best as they come when it comes to grappling. I mean, the guy's got records for submissions in the UFC. So if Khabib beat him, it's hard to argue that he's not the best ever. He beat all the best strikers in the toughest division the UFC's possibly ever had.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, he also out-grappled maybe the best grappler the UFC's ever had. Oliveira's way overlooked. This guy's submission skills are off the charts. Ryan Hall is the only other person that comes to mind when I think of people that are really good at submissions. Ryan Hall obviously doesn't fight as much as Oliveira does, and there's a reason because no one wants to fight him. But Oliveira is a championship caliber fighter with phenomenal grappling skills, world-class grappling skills. And if Khabib can show up and beat him, that'd be great. Now, money-wise, Dana doesn't want to see that. That's not going to be a money fight. Dana wants to see Khabib come out and fight Conor, just like the rest of the world. But, hey, if Khabib comes out and fights anybody, even if it's just Oliveira, I don't even want to say just Oliveira because I feel like I'm selling him short. And that's been going on for way too long.
Yeah,
Oliveira is way overlooked. I've been saying for the longest time, this guy's one of the best fighters out there. And he should have been a top 5 fighter a long time ago, and it upset me. And now he's finally getting recognition. So I don't want to say just Oliveira, because Oliveira is a great matchup. Don't get me wrong, it's not a money fight like McGregor, but neither is any other fight in the UFC. And McGregor fight is as high as it gets when it comes to a money fight. So big name matchup, a lot of views. That's obviously the matchup to make. But anything else, best matchup I could think of, I would say Khabib versus Oliveira or Khabib versus GSP.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I could ask for.
So what if Michael Chandler just comes out and dominates Dan Hooker? Does he immediately get thrown into that mix too?
For the
What's
title?
the deal with him?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he would get a title fight just from beating Dan Hooker. Absolutely not.
So who would he fight then after Dan Hooker? Because Dan Hooker's what, 5th?
Maybe Oliveira. If he dominates Dan Hooker, he might fight Oliveira.
Or maybe the loser
Or
of
maybe
McGregor,
Justin
Porier.
Gaethje. Everyone's forgetting Justin Gaethje.
Oh, Gaethje too, yeah.
Everybody's forgetting Justin Gaethje. Gaethje lost to Khabib, but he was beating him up until he got triangled. And honestly, I think that triangle was more of him messing up than it was Khabib doing right. And somehow Khabib got submission of the year. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I think that triangle was more
fast
of him
transition.
It was
fast.
fast.
So fast.
It was fast. It was smooth. But Justin rolled right into it. He gave to him. He rolled straight into that triangle.
And for
And
someone who's
Justin looks back at it and says, "Fuck."
and he was a
I messed
college
up."
wrestler, wasn't he? Didn't
What?
he wrestle in college too?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be like something he has in his back pocket, and he did fuck up big time.
He just fucked up,
Yeah.
He was winning that fight. Those leg kicks, Justin Gaethje was going to win the fight with the leg kicks. And I said before the fight started, I said, if he starts landing leg kicks early, Khabib is going to have to change or he's going to lose the fight. He's going to have to do something different or he's going to lose. Well, guess what? Gaethje did exactly what I thought. He landed a couple leg kicks. Khabib started getting hurt, and Khabib went straight to the ground, put him in a triangle, and ended it. So if Justin didn't mess up, that was bad news for Khabib. He was going to have a lot of issues walking around the rest of the fight. If that fight made it 4 rounds, 5 rounds, that would have been bad news for him. So anyways, we forgot to mention, we don't have any of the supplies in yet for that character bit, so that's going to be next week. So, yeah, forgot to mention that at the beginning of the podcast, but...
yeah,
Oh,
we'll
well.
get something together, though.
Huh?
We'll put something together, though.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
plenty of skits in mind.
But, yeah, anyways, so back to the Khabib thing. So, like I said, if he fights Oliveira, everyone gives him hate because he's going up against strikers. And if he beats Oliveira, then he could also say, yeah, I beat the best grapplers out there, too. I didn't just beat the best strikers using my grappling. I strike them, I grappled them, and to top it off, I also fought the best grapplers and beat them also. And I finished my career 30-0. and people could definitely say, yep, best mixed martial artist of all time then. But I feel like he still wants to get that 30-0 record like his dad wants.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Well, what his dad wanted
Yeah.
before he died. Yeah.
And the only matchups that I see happening big are Conor, Oliveira, or GSP. And the reason I think that is because if he fights Poirier again, Poirier's not Khabib's arch rival. Porier lost to Khabib because he went for a guillotine, and then Khabib beat him.
Yep.
If Khabib beats Porier, I mean, if Khabib beats McGregor, he beat the biggest star in the UFC there has ever been in his prime for a second time. It's going to be the biggest selling pay-per-view in the history of the event for his last fight to make him 30-0. Or if he fights Oliveira, like I said, he's a grappler. He shows that he can out-grapple him, and he wins that fight to finish 30-0. Or he fights GSP. The reason I think the GSP fight wouldn't be as great, I think it'd sell a lot. It'd make a lot of views. GSP coming out of retirement. It'd be a
Sure.
big thing. They'd promote it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the bad thing about this for Khabib is saying, I beat 38-year-old, 39-year-old GSP
Who's not in his prime.
who's not in his prime, hasn't fought in years, came out of retirement, dropped down to 155 to fight me. Normally fought at 170, 185,
Mm-hmm.
and he dropped down to 155 when he was, like I said, 39 years old just to fight me to make me 30-0. You know, that by itself doesn't sound as good as beating McGregor or Oliveira. Like, yeah, it's a great name, great money-making fight. Just like, for example, when it was Anderson Silva versus Israel Adesanya. Like, that on paper was like a big fight. Like, oh, cool. Old school versus new school. It's like the same kind of thing. You know, you got Khabib versus GSP.
Yeah. So
it's same kind of thing. But, I mean, I feel like everyone would expect Khabib to win that fight.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dana's goal with this is definitely Khabib McGregor too. But I mean, we'll see. If I think Poirier and McGregor end up going the distance, I'm gonna root for Poirier. I hope Poirier wins,
Really?
but I think it's really a toss-up of who wins.
You're rooting for Poirier?
Hell yeah, I love Dustin Poirier.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean, I
love
respect
Dustin.
McGregor too. I'm not gonna be like disappointed if he wins.
I want McGregor to win though, just because I know if he wins that fight, it's gonna be hard to say no for Khabib to say no to fighting him again. It's gonna be really difficult.
Yeah,
And if that happens, dude, with the way the sport's going right now, ABC partnership with them
yeah,
going on ABC, and the sport blowing up the way it is, there's no better thing that could happen for the UFC than that fight, or no worse thing that could happen. You know, there's two ways you could look at it.
yeah.
I
and
like the fact that the UFC doesn't have a shit ton of followers.
Yeah, it sucks to say this, but I think it does help the UFC more if McGregor wins.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
I do like how family oriented the UFC feels though. Like, you don't have those same shit talk fans like football has that are just complete morons and have no idea what they're talking about. They just like football because that's the American thing to do. That's true. Literally every male, for the most part, follows football in the United States of America just because that's
To
the
some
American
extent,
thing to
yeah.
do. Like I said, I hate watching football, but I do it anyways. I hate listening to the commentary. It's the worst commentary ever. It's fucking terrible. It's awful.
That's why I
These
just
guys
watch
are
Red
brain
Zone.
dead, and they're just idiots. And then the game of football, it's a bunch of middle schoolers that never grew out of middle school playing each other, acting like fucking pussies. It's awful. And then you watch the UFC, and it's nothing but class. It's nothing but guys showcasing their skills, not wanting to quit, showing their toughness, showing their heart. There's none of that in football. There's no toughness. There's no heart. There's very few players with that. And the ones that have that are the ones that are superstars. But every UFC fighter, for the most part, has got that. It's hard to find a UFC fighter with no heart. It's really difficult. They work their ass off. Football players, on the other hand, they make millions of dollars and they bitch and complain about everything. And it's fucking pathetic. It really is.
Yeah.
It's really fucking pathetic.
I mean, at the end of the day, I still love football.
The sport itself is good, but just the way it's run and the way the players act, it's like I said.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
the
awful.
players definitely abuse their power. Hockey is another one of my favorite sports, but I know you're not big into it. But I think it's a tough sport. I don't think there are some prima donnas, but really not many. They're tough athletes. They, I think, play a very different sport with a unique skill set. And then since you got me into MMA, I think it's been almost 2 years now. It's definitely become like one of my favorite sports.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
It's so different than any other sport you watch.
absolutely.
It's like watching football mixed with WWE. Like if
Yeah.
you could make them one sport, that's the feeling that it has
Right.
without any of the bullshit.
Yeah, and I kind of like the aspect of like you don't have like one team you support like
Yeah.
for a set amount of like months in a
Yeah.
year. You watch different fighters
Yeah.
pretty much every weekend, and you get to, some guys you root for hard, and then other guys you're just,
And then you got
waiting to
like
see how they do, and if they perform really well, you're like, oh, I'm gonna start following that guy.
Yep.
And see what he does in
I
his
got
career.
so many people I follow on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
And then they go up against each other and you got to pick one to root for.
Yeah, that's
It
always
sucks.
tough.
Just like the Porier McGregor. I like them both.
Yep.
You know, I really do like Porier. Porier is a really cool guy.
Yeah.
Really down to earth guy. You
Yeah, I
know?
like him a lot.
But man, I would love to see that Conor versus Khabib matchup.
I know that's what everyone
Dude.
wants.
That, oh man. Just to put it into perspective, if the Seahawks were to play in the Super Bowl and then, Conor McGregor versus Khabib 2 was on at the same time, I would much rather watch Conor McGregor versus Khabib number 2 than
Oh,
the Seahawks
absolutely.
versus in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl. I wouldn't care. I could care less about the Super Bowl. I would totally watch that over the Super Bowl if the Seahawks were in it. Man, that's just a dream matchup. You couldn't
Yeah.
ask for a better matchup.
Yeah, it is. It's what everyone wants. So maybe they'll get their wish. We'll find out. Hopefully not too long after Saturday. If McGregor wins, hopefully we find out pretty soon if Khabib's like, yep, sign
It's
me up
just
for
crazy
that.
to think we got another Conor McGregor matchup coming. It just feels like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's been building up for months, but
I mean, it's been
a year
exactly
since he
a
fought
year,
last.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been about a
Since
year.
he fought Cerrone.
Yeah.
But Dana expects him to fight 2 or 3 more times this year. So,
Well, the fans are back.
yeah.
I think that was a part of the reason he won fighting. He needs the fans in attendance.
It does help. I mean,
Absolutely. I think that had a big part to do with last night's showings.
yeah, it plays a big part in I think a lot of fighters, in their fighting styles, and I wonder if that affects guys like Sean O'Malley too.
I'm sure the crowd getting behind him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because last night was the first time they had fans in months. And at first, I think having the big crowd,
yeah,
it gave them anxiety after a while. Like you're so used to walking out with that big crowd every single time.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to settle in and give you anxiety. It's like going to work every day. Like, for example, me, when I go to work, the first 6 months of a new job, I'm like more excited about it. After that 6 months goes by or the year goes by, I start getting more anxiety. Like I know what to expect. I know what to feel. And I just start building up these thoughts in my head, and it makes it harder for me to actually get up and go there, Same with walking out to the cage. I'm sure it's the same thing. And then to getting the fans taken away from you and then having them back, not in full attendance, but just having them there in general. Just even if it was 1,000 fans, I don't even care. It's something, and it's exciting. And I'm sure having no fans started to die off for the fighters. It started to feel a
Yeah.
little awkward. So just having that little attendance there was nice. Having the fans cheer and chant, it gets your adrenaline going for sure, I'm sure.
So are they going to allow fans in Vegas too?
I think
Or is
they're
it just
working
because
on
they're
it.
in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I think they're working on it. They're
Oh,
going to
cool.
try and have some fans there as well.
Awesome. That'll be
So,
hype.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
It definitely helps the fighters. I mean, imagine if you're like fighting someone. Would you rather fight someone with nobody watching, or would you rather fight someone with a crowd cheering you on? Like, I mean, I think everyone would choose to fight with a crowd cheering you on.
Yeah.
Or there are some guys who may like when a crowd's cheering against you.
Yeah.
It's like same in like any
dude.
other sport. Some people it makes them perform harder.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's definitely some fighters out there that approach that heel role. They love when people hate them. They just love it.
Oh yeah, the crowd's cheering against you, and then you absolutely annihilate the guy they're cheering on, and then you're looking at the crowd like, "What the fuck now?
You
What
gotta
do you
love
got?"
that, though. You do gotta love that.
Yeah,
Like, for example, when Khabib's fighting McGregor, I'm sure he feels that. He's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm whooping this guy's ass. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
all the crowd's cheering for Connor, saying his chant, oh, way, oh, way, oh, way, oh, way.
and then he submits him.
Yep. Like, imagine that feeling. Damn.
Oh yeah. I mean, you saw his reaction afterwards. He was calm like pretty much the whole
Jumped the
time.
cage.
And then right after he beat him, he fucking threw his mouthpiece, and his team came over and started
Beating up
fighting
Connor.
McGregor and his team.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, dude, I feel like it would be like, have you ever seen Gladiator, the movie with Russell
I
Crowe?
don't think so.
It's a really good movie, but that's where the line, "Are you not entertained?" or something like that.
Oh.
That's where that line comes from. Is because he, I don't
Are
know,
you entertained?
he beats someone that
Are
the whole
you not entertained?
yeah.
Yeah.
He fights someone that the whole crowd's cheering for. And then, gladiators, they fought to the death. And he beats this guy, kills him, and the crowd goes silent. He's like, "Are you not entertained?" or something like
Ah,
that.
shit.
It's like,
He's a
that's
good
the biggest
actor,
fuck
man.
you to the crowd.
I want to watch 300 now, dude. It doesn't smell that bad. I just farted, by the way.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we're about to wrap this up. Got a little bit of work to do
Yeah.
tomorrow, unfortunately. Back to the bullshit.
Yep, back in the
But,
grind.
Yo, speaking of which, dude, listen to what happened to me the other day. This is so fucking weird. So I was talking to this dude on the phone.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I just moved back. I just moved back to New York, and I need to get some. Yeah, so he was saying, I just moved back to New York.
A New
And I was like, wait a
Yorker?
second, back to New? What do you mean? Like, you just moved to New York and you're fucking talking like that? What do you mean? He had been there for 2 weeks, and he was living in North Carolina before that for
Wow.
years. And I was just thinking to myself, like, what the fuck? Like, this guy's been in New York for 2 weeks, and he's fucking talking with that strong of an accent. What the fuck? It was like the weirdest thing ever. Like, how does that even happen?
But he said he moved back to New York, so he lived there before.
Yeah, but I think he had lived there, like, when he was a kid. Like, when he was, like, up to, like, a 4-year-old or something.
Oh, okay.
And then he was, like, in his 30s or 40s, and he was moving to New York, and he lived in North Carolina, like, his whole life. And he was like,
Oh,
yeah, I
wow.
just moved back to New York. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck do you talk like that after 2 weeks? But it's funny because I remember when I lived in North Carolina, everyone said I talked way different.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean I talk different? They said I talked more like a smart person, I'll say. I was less retarded. We got a lot of dumb people around here. I'm not going to lie. And
We
it
got a
rubs
what?
off on me. Yeah. Just the way people talk around here, they sound stupid. They use a lot of slang. And
Yeah.
it's like they're trying to sound funny when they do it. And unfortunately, it rubs off on me. And I sound like a dumbass half the time because of it.
Nothing.
Huh?
Ain't nothing.
Ain't nothing. People around here are fucking stupid, but yeah, man, it just makes you wonder, like, how the fuck do you pick up an accent in 2 weeks?
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he lived in New York before, I mean, I have a lot of family in New York. And I know, like, my mom, when she's been in Virginia Beach for, since I was born. So over 25 years. But I know when she goes back to New York to visit family for, a week or two or whatever, she says her accent picks up again, like, within a couple days.
Quit?
Yeah. And I mean, she's always had a few words that she says, like coffee and fingers.
Coffee.
Like, she's always said words like that with a New York accent.
It's funny, though, you don't have a New York accent at all.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I've never lived in New York.
Yeah, but you got family there, and that's why she's got it,
Yeah. But she grew up in New York, too.
But same with that guy, though. Like, he grew up there for a couple years, then he moved to North Carolina. Yeah, he's got family from New York, but why has he got a New York accent?
Yeah, I'm surprised
2
he doesn't have a
weeks
North Carolina
to
accent.
living in New York.
Yeah.
Is there really a North Carolina accent, though? I don't think
I
there
feel
is.
like it's different than Virginia, because I don't feel like Virginians have a Southern accent.
They sound stupid.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, they sound dumb.
But like
remember,
you and I feel like if you and I, so
it's not all of Virginia, though.
when I would go to New York and like hang out with my cousins, like obviously I can hear their New York accents. They've lived there their whole life. and they would tell me that I have like a Southern accent, but I don't think I do at all. Like, I mean, I say y'all every now and then, shit like that, but I don't have like a deep like South Carolina, Georgia accent. To me, I just talk normal. I don't think Virginia accents are really an accent at all. I think some people in Virginia have more of a Southern accent, and I think that's what more people in North Carolina and South Carolina sound like.
Now I'm trying to like analyze your voice and see how you say things.
Right?
Say
Yeah.
what again?
Huh?
Say the word what,
What?
but say it in a sentence. Now you're saying it differently.
Like what's going on?
When you said it before, it was like WHUT, like what's going on.
What's going on?
But it's not. That was over exaggerated from when I
Yeah.
did it. It wasn't that bad. But
Okay.
it definitely was like, if you really think about it, I could see a little bit of the accent in there. Nothing crazy though. Like to me, it does sound normal.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's weird how people from like New York and Boston sound like, or Massachusetts sound way
You know, it would have
different.
been way cooler if you said, it's a lot different than how New York or Boston.
New
Like,
York, Boston.
Yeah, that would have been way better.
Yeah. Yeah. Boston accent's really fucking weird.
It's just like New York to me.
You
It's
don't
like no
sound-
difference.
You don't hear the
Like
difference?
huh?
You don't hear the difference between the two?
No. Everyone from that area is like the same. Well, I feel like Boston people are more aggressive than New York people. I feel like people from New York, people say they're way over aggressive, but I feel like Boston people are 10 times more aggressive than New York. It's like,
Really?
yeah, it's like someone from New York on meth, but like a high end meth where you can still think and think straight and think clearly, and you're kind of they're still smart. I'm not calling them dumb. They're still smart. Maybe even smarter, but yeah, that's just the impression I get. But New Yorkers, dude, I get along with all of them. I've never had an issue with a New Yorker, unless they're from the city. The people from the city, it's like they are kind of annoying sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah, it depends. I don't think it's really different than any other area in the world. Like, there's going to be
dude.
annoying people you find everywhere.
DC.
Oh, yeah, plenty of assholes there.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst place on the planet, dude. Seriously.
But that's a good example. What's a DC accent? Is there one?
You just have to talk like an asshole. That's a DC accent. You just got to be a complete fucking moron and just be a fucking asshole, and you're from DC. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
You got to drive like a dumbass, honk your horn as soon as the light turns green, like literally the millisecond the light turns green, honk your horn, talk fast, ask people what they're doing after you ask them something, and give them a tenth of a second to respond. Talk to them like they're a fucking idiot, and you're from DC. That's
Damn.
everybody from DC right there.
You really do not like DC.
I fucking hate DC. I really wish it would just fucking blow up.
Wow.
I really do. I wish the planet, not the planet, it might as well be a planet because it's nothing like the rest of the U.S. I wish the city of DC, if there was ever a black hole, I wish it would happen right in the center of that county and just suck the whole fucking place in. Matter of fact, the whole surrounding area around DC, because it rubs off on them so bad, like Arlington and all those other places, except for the people I know there. I hope it doesn't happen to you. But everybody else that I don't know, I hope it just fucking goes up in flames and gets sucked in by a black hole and it's out of our existence and we never ever see it again. I hope that happens. I hate DC, dude. Driving there, the
Wow.
prices of everything there, the people there, everything about it is terrible.
I don't think it's that different than any other
I feel
major
like
city.
everyone from DC is on coke 24/7. That's the way they act. I feel like they're all coke heads and they're all assholes and oh my gosh, I just can't fucking stand it, dude. I can't stand it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think it's really similar to how every other major city is. Like
Really?
Richmond,
I
I
don't
don't
feel that
I don't
way.
think it's like that at all. I think
I don't
Richmond's
think
really
so.
chill.
Yeah, same with North Carolina, man. North Carolina, you haven't been to Charlotte, have you? You got to go, man.
No, I don't think I have.
it's
I've been
not-
to Raleigh.
It's not your normal city, dude. I'm telling you. Dude, Charlotte, North Carolina, the way that people act, they act less city-like than they do here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everything I just described about the people being assholes, and you said like, oh, that's like every major city. Nah, dude, North Carolina, it's like such a humbling place. Like everyone there is just so like down to earth and humble. And then you go to DC and it's the exact opposite. Everyone just wants to be Billy Badass,
Yeah.
think they're better than everyone, talk about how much money they make, talk about how they live in DC, they drive a Tesla, they pay $3,600 a month in rent for a one-bedroom apartment, just because they live in DC. It's like LA, but worse.
Oh God.
I would rather live in a motel in LA than live in DC. I'd rather be
Jeez.
homeless in LA than live in DC. At
don't
least
know
then I
about
could still
that.
find some ways to make money that are entertaining, like porn or something. DC, what the fuck are you gonna do there? Shoot up heroin? Like, come on. Fucking DC is the worst place in the United States.
Maybe.
I don't know why it's our country's capital.
Yeah,
Maybe
I mean,
that's why it
it's-
sucks so
it's
bad. I don't know.
Just a lot of history there. I think wasn't Richmond the original capital?
fuck
or was
history.
it Philly? Maybe
Who
it was
gives
Philly.
a fuck about history? Seriously. That was fucking 400 years ago. Let that shit go. 300, 400, 200 years ago. Get the fuck out of here with history. Forget
So-
about it. Forget about it.
Maybe DC is so bad or sounds or is so bad to you because the cities in the South are really chill. Like I can't think of one shitty city in
DC
the
is
South.
not chill at all. Dude, Seattle's chill. DC is
Yeah.
not chill at all.
Well, I'm talking about like that whole region. Like I'm sure there's like decent areas of DC, but there's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shitty areas in DC.
I've never been to a good area
Baltimore.
of DC.
I'll never go through Baltimore again.
I've been to
if I can
clubs
help
in
it.
DC. I've been to restaurants in DC.
Yeah.
I've been to DC plenty of times, and every experience is terrible. The club I went to, fucking awful. Everybody in there was definitely on drugs, 100%. They're all buying drinks for all the girls, and they're
Yeah.
not getting anything out of it. It was an embarrassment. I was seeing these guys blow thousands of dollars on these girls that they didn't even get their numbers. And they're sitting there blowing thousands of dollars on them. It was an embarrassment. It's just all these people trying to show off, being complete douchebags. And it was embarrassing. The fact that these guys were doing that was an embarrassment to me.
Really?
It made me want to just take my penis and cut it off.
Oh God. Just not be a guy anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then stick it on my forehead.
Be a unicorn.
Yes.
But yeah, dude, getting back to accents, like I don't understand why accents are so different. Like not even just country to country, but state by state. Like why do people from Virginia sound so different from people in New York or even Florida or Texas or Cali?
I don't know, man. They do live a different lifestyle, though. It's weird. Like, you know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
see everyone's like, oh, I'm from this country or that country. And then you look at the United States and it's like, yeah, I'm from New York. I'm from California. And everyone's like, oh, that guy's from California. Oh, that guy's from New York. And it's like, they're all so different. Not only just like the way they act, but the way they talk. It's just
Yeah.
crazy to me. I feel like it's not like that in other countries. I don't know. It could be completely wrong. It could be like, yeah, I'm from the west part of France. Oh, I'm from the north part of France. And they just completely hate each other. Like SoCal and NorCal.
Yeah.
I just did that opposite.
Yeah, I know
But,
what you meant.
yeah. It's like, I guess they're like, I've never been there, but I guess the lifestyles are so different. You know?
From like Northern Cali and
Yeah,
Southern Cali.
it's like a rivalry.
It's very different, yeah. Yeah, Southern Cali is more... Well, it's just weird because California is such a huge state that it just... The climate... The different climates and different...
Amount
what's
of
it called?
gay.
Like geography just across the whole state.
You can say it.
What?
The different amount of gay.
I mean, there's gay everywhere. That doesn't matter. But like Southern Cali is similar to like Florida. Like San Diego is just a beautiful city. Very similar to Southern Florida. Other than it doesn't get extremely hot like Florida does. And then you have Northern Cali, which is like Oakland, San Fran, and even more northern than that. And I think like the northernmost part of the state gets snow. And like the Central Valley has a lot of farmland and shit like that. Like it's crazy how, unique and how much different shit is in California, and it's all one state.
Yep.
But
yeah, they're finally starting to chill out, probably because they fucking legalized weed over there finally. But
it's been legal there for a bit now. It
Yeah, it
seems like
has.
it's been a few years.
Yeah,
Well,
it
it seems
has.
like
It's
it's been
finally starting to
forever,
kick in.
even before it was legal. But yeah,
that's one place I got to go visit. But
Cali.
yep, not trying to turn gay though. So I mean, I feel like that could happen to me pretty easily as much as I talk about it.
Oh yeah, that can happen to you no matter where you are.
Yep. Unless you're in Virginia or DC, because everyone's just so hateful that it
DC
just
is
gives you
pretty.
no chance of it happening.
They have some gay pride in DC.
Yeah, they do, but like I said, it's just a hateful place. It just makes you not care for anything. You just go there and start to hate. It's just instant hate. That's how I feel about DC. I hate DC.
I
I've been
don't know,
thinking
man.
about this all week. I'm glad
I really
we brought
think
it
that's
up.
just how cities are, because I hate cities. I can never live in a city. And
you gotta
DC
find the
is
right
a
one,
prime
man.
example, and I think DC is just
You gotta find
similar
the right
to
one.
how a lot of cities are.
Yep. All right. So you think that's a good stop?
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here. We'll talk about the albums next week, and
Yep.
we'll definitely put together a good intro and keep this shit rolling.
We switched the dates. We just did another podcast a couple days ago. So this one, we normally do Wednesdays. This time it's on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So this time it was a little short notice, but next week we're going to have a full week of preparation, and we're going to get back to the ball rolling, go over the albums, and start off there and kick it off strong. So tune in next week for more Bonafide Podcasts.
Fuck yeah. Tune in
Peace.
next week. Keep it tight. We'll see you then.
Keep it tight,
Yay, yay.
just how I like it.